we, we got going on there, Hoss?
Hey man, welcome to South Carolina.
I see you got some snow there.
Oh, dude, they're saying we gonna get 4 to 5 inches today.
You might go sled riding.
That's a big deal for us, bro.
What's up, dude?
Yo, man, I'll tell you what's not up, the temperature in Columbia, South Carolina. It is frigid. We're going on week 2 of a winter event. For us, back to back, we dodged a bullet last week, and then today, just snow, no ice. But I got my winter squirrel hat on. I'm
Love
ready,
it.
and maybe 4 to 5 inches of snow for us today. How about you?
Well, well, you guys are getting a bomb cyclone, man. It sounds dramatic.
Yeah,
Um, we, so I'm in Maryland. We get snow,
yeah.
but it seems like it's cliche. We don't get as much snow as we used to for whatever reason. But this year we got snow. That last batch you were talking about that went through here, we probably got I don't know, maybe 7 inches of snow. Not a lot of snow, but the problem is it hasn't gotten above freezing for 2 weeks. I mean, and that's unusual for us. So, um, we've had pipes freezing. Personally, we've had pipes freezing, trying to clean up the snow, trying to get the dogs out. Dogs don't like that icy, hard ass snow. So
Right.
it's been a little challenge, man, but not nothing
Yeah.
nearly as bad as what our folks are dealing with, right?
Oh, dude, you're exactly right. It's stuff that we can manage, but it could be a whole lot worse. And man, you look at that band that came through last week, through Mississippi, Arkansas, and Alabama. They got devastated. Louisiana, still, those guys are still out working in the stuff from last week, and then to have another one come this week, yeah, not good. And our upstate dodged a bullet, kind of. We had 2 or 3 cooperatives that were hit, but one that took a pretty significant hit last week. Blue Ridge Co-op for me, up near Pickens and Westminster. Yeah, they had almost 30,000 outages, but chopped that down this week with some mutual aid help. And right now, again, looking at the outage map, we're sitting good right now. So yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Maybe a good time to just run through a debrief, man, on some things to consider when we're working out here in this stuff and these elements. What you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, I used to always tell people it was kind of a joke I had. My favorite storm was an ice storm in the south because, by the time you got down there, sun came back out, 60 degrees. You're just putting wire up and you're not dealing with any ice, but that's not what these boys are dealing with. I mean, I've been, it started out as being what a 9 or 10 state deal. Everybody was, sort of pre-mobilizing and heading down the road and getting spread out, but now it's kind of consolidated to those areas you're talking about, that southeast, Tennessee, Mississippi, down there in Louisiana. Of course, there's areas, affected areas around it. You talked about even within your area. You've had some storms, so
Oh yeah,
we got the cold to talk about. Winter weather safety. We got protecting yourself with zones of protection to talk about. How it gets when everybody gets on top of each other. I think that's going to be something. You got public interference. You think about what's going on. You're watching what's going on down in Nashville, and it reminds me of what was going on in Texas a few years back. These areas that aren't used to it, those customers don't like being out for a week like that.
no man, and again, the list, could probably keep going, and we don't have time to talk about all of it. And when I speak my piece in a minute, I'm going to start from what we do from leaving the house. But you probably saw the headline of the guys getting shot at. Did you
Hmm.
see that?
Yeah, absolutely did.
It's crazy, man. Crazy. So yeah, I'm with you. My mind just goes to what happens when this radar shows up. We start hyping it up, we start building it up, we start talking, and then our mind goes.
Hmm.
And it's just storm, storm, storm. And so, man, from leaving the house at 3, 4 in the morning to get to the co-op to load your gear and stock your truck and get on the road, man, that's where it starts because our minds are are so preoccupied with leaving our families and being away from home, and then the work we're headed to go do. Man, it takes sharp focus and takes a lot of preparation. And then, man, just driving, how we overlook that so many times, just driving down through the states, through the mountains, through different terrain, different territory in this inclement weather. And, there's so many issues and hazards with that. So, man, you want to encourage everybody. Yeah, I got to get there. I got to get to the call. People are waiting on me, but we got to slow down. Got to even slow down when we're out, getting on the trucks. I had a friend of mine last week who sent me a message. He's a lineman, I believe, from up New Hampshire, and he was like, "Y'all don't have a clue what you're fixing to get into." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." He said, "Tell all them boys to put 5 gallons of salt on the truck and a couple bottles of diesel 911." He said that's what they're really going to wish they had in the middle
Mhm.
of the night and out, in this weather. And I'm thinking, yeah, because what? Something just like a slip, trip, and fall on the stairs, getting up in the bucket, out in that nasty right away, dude. Something easy will get us before we even get to the broke poles and the wires and the down line and everything else. So this weather's no joke, man. From driving to just walking in it. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I don't think your friend from New Hampshire said fixin', but I'll give you credit for that. Maybe he did. So you're right. We,
You're right. You're
we
right.
fixing to get into it
You're
when we
right.
get into this ice storm. So, one thing that comes to my mind is this institutional knowledge that we always talk about, knowledge transfer, the experience level we have, and think of all the things, the company is going to prepare you, right? They're going to have, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to, this is our plan. This is when we expect you to report. This is what we want you to do. But nothing replaces that. Hey, buddy, look, this is going to be a nasty thing. You need to make sure you pack you some socks and make sure you get you a couple extra pairs of this or that or the other. Throw some of these in your bag. You talked about having some diesel fuel to get things moving if you need to. I mean, a bag of salt on the truck, a cross arm to get the tire chains on. All these things that you learn from the guys that work around you. What can we do as an organization? If we're talking about it from an industry, if industry leadership, that's what we try to do here on the Peercast.
Yeah.
What can we do to share some of this knowledge that's just not there anymore? How can we encourage it? Maybe that's better.
No, I like it. And so there's, from my perspective in the co-op world, there's, and I'm sure it is in yours too, there's that high level, mutual aid, OSHA requirement, information sharing, when you onboard crews and when you take on extra help and what that is. And I think sometimes even that stuff can just get slipping through the cracks. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, we got to go. Hey, here's your stuff. Best of luck. There's your bird dog later. I've seen it, and I hope that's something that we're getting away from too. And then that real world stuff that you want to be able to share, man, it's kind of funny, Mike, because until the event, when would I get the opportunity to share that?
Right.
Right? It's like nobody on a blue sky day when it's 80 degrees is like, hey, don't forget next time the snow comes, you know? So it's kind of got to happen in the moment. And then again, do we take the time to do that? Or is it like, hey, new guy, young buck, watch, keep up, take it all in. It's going to be a blur in the next couple of days. I think you're right. I think there's an opportunity there that we miss. And hopefully we have a chance in the middle of restoration to show and share some of these things so it's not lost
Mm-hmm.
on this next generation. The what unwritten rules, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Well, and another thing is, in today's world, we have all these, what we're doing here today, little podcast, little video thing. It'll be available on YouTube. There's a lot of our peers that are doing the same
Right.
thing. So
Right.
when you got some downtime, you're waiting for your next job or you're waiting for the tree crews to do what they do, maybe you
Yeah.
bring up a couple of these videos and just
Yeah.
sitting there in the truck, enjoy some heat,
Right.
watch some video. The thing about these ice storms, man, everything you do is hard, and it's bad enough to work in the heat and humidity and all that stuff. But man, when equipment is breaking, the load is picking up on the circuits that are
Malfunction.
still in service, and you got wire burning down, you got trees that are falling down around you. Bringing the
Yep.
wire down, you just put back up, which is
Yep.
demoralizing. You're
Right.
cold, you can't get out of it.
Yep.
If it's
Yep.
cold and frozen like it's been around here, it's not like it's melting and you're getting some relief there. I mean, it's just icy, conditions that are just nasty. So slips, trips, and falls.
Yeah.
We talk about slips, trips, and falls and safety management all the time. It kind of becomes slips, trips, and falls. But man, you go down on an icy patch, man, that could be life ending.
Career ending,
Yeah.
life altering, 100%. And I love that you brought up too just the nature of the work. The equipment doesn't work or function properly, or breaks, or is frozen. The hydraulics are gummed up. We're in types of weather, and for my guys up north, man, we're in the mountains. We're in terrain that our equipment can't even get to. We had conversations last week about, are the helicopters going to be available to get to some of these areas, man? These hazards will stack up quick, So if a guy's catching a video like us, it's the slow down for me, man.
Slow
That
down.
that would be my thing. I'm just shouting from the rooftop, slow down. Really take advantage of your tailgates, really take advantage of, the opportunity to huddle up, get a game plan, discuss everything you can, try to hit the high notes on everything. And yeah, make sure you're at a minimum. My PPE is taken care of
Mhm.
and in good shape. And in the cab, getting
Mm,
warm and thawing
mm,
out and dry, and you got those extra protectors that you can swap out if one gets molded up or froze or a hole in it, man. Don't take any of that stuff for granted, man. Throw some extra protectors in there with your socks and the other things we talk about. It'll be real easy in a situation like this to not have my glasses on and not have good clear safety glasses. So
mhm.
low hanging fruit for sure is where I could, get on a soapbox, man. But I encourage anybody out there hearing this today or in the future weeks, slow down, man. Slow down. This
I
is
think
not a
that's
time to cowboy up.
I think that's the bottom line, really. If we slow down, we work methodically, we understand this is a marathon, not a sprint. I mean, we're at the point now where in the storm, the guys are been working it for the past week or two. Um, and you're doing system damage now. I mean, that's take your time, and you're getting the stuff that's off the road down in the ravine. That all the gravy stuff's been mopped up, right? So just
Yeah.
being more methodical and working as a team. And another thing, don't go off on your own. We like to, hey, I'll go run this line out, you go run that line out. Stick together, have a buddy system, man. We've heard way too many times guys could be they just got stuck in the snow or slipped and got
Yeah.
pinched up, or I remember this one guy that I worked with. We were going in different directions, cutting trees off the lines, and he got pinned down under a tree. And there was nobody around to help him get it. I mean, he was okay. Didn't suffer a severe injury or anything, but he was pinned down. He couldn't get out. We had to go get him.
Yeah. Hmm. That's scary stuff, man. Amongst all the other normal, scary, hazardous things that we have to deal with, that'd be horrible. That'd be horrible. I
Weights
can't
and
even
tensions.
imagine it. So
These pole lines are built to a certain standard, based on wind and ice loading and things like that. And all
yeah,
new, the way the code works is your old stuff is grandfathered in. So you get in some of these old lot lines, but back in God's country, pole still there from whenever. They're not going to hold up to this ice, man. And so really checking your
or the
equipment out, your
wind.
poles, what's the condition of your cross arms, your adjacent structures before you really start working on some things. If you can knock some ice off, that's a great way to do it. But it's
Yeah,
not normal circumstances, the way that you would normally work with things. You're going to have to add for that additional ice load.
I could tell you, man, if there's a silver lining for us, and I can say this now, I wouldn't say this last October. Um, a lot of our infrastructure is brand new because of Helene. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I told a couple of my co-op buddies, like, man, I don't know what you worried about. We just rebuilt 2/3 of your system 10 months ago. So you're good. You are
No,
good.
yeah, I mean that's a good point. These areas that get this weather all the time, their systems are hardened just because the things are getting replaced and heavied up and said,
Yeah.
okay, we're not going to do
Yeah.
that again. And what
Yeah.
happens with some of these ice storms, especially in the south, that these are areas, first of all, the equipment isn't used to it, but the trees aren't used to it. You know, these trees have been flopping around in the sunshine saying, "There ain't nothing bothering me." And then all of a sudden you get all this ice on it and she says, "Oh,
I'll book in my thought, man, as we wrap up here. I love that you said what you said about the trees. They're not used to it. People aren't used to it. My people down here are not used to this weather, and they've already stopped school for Monday and Tuesday, maybe. And nobody knows how to drive in it, and nobody knows, there's a lot of unknowns for the human element side of it. So one of us touched on it earlier. What does that mean? Man, the work zone setup, being out in traffic, driving through some of these areas and people, getting stuck or getting stranded or in your workspace and just the common thing we've been fighting since we put the first line in the air, people not realizing the lines are still energized on the ground.
hmm."
God forbid, see there's how many videos online showing these lines burning, on the trees, laying on the ground in the right of way. So the human element is just as tricky too, man. So I'm gonna get out of here in a minute and jump on another call. We got a storm coordinator call today at 4 o'clock. What you got going on the rest of the day, and
Mm.
what's on your schedule?
Well, we're just helping contractors be prepared for what they're dealing with. You know, they know the game, right? They're involved. They're experts at storm restoration. This is what they do. But it's nice to have an organization like us sitting behind them and giving them some safety information, coordinating with local areas. If we hear about problem areas or issues that are developing, we can share that information. We try to
Yeah,
put ourselves in a position where we're talking to the utility companies and helping them understand that there's an organization out there that can help share information and help it be as effective as possible. So we're just going to be in a supporting role. We have a
were you
website
out
that we
last week?
maintain. What's that, sir?
Were you out last week with some guys? Sorry, I thought you might have been out boots on the ground last week with some crews, right?
I got up to Detroit yesterday. Um, but that was to meet with one of our contractors, just kind of talk about their safety approach. But I haven't been out with the crews this storm. I hope to get my
Gotcha.
hands dirty a little bit and see what's going on out there, but not to
Right.
this point. I'm cheering from afar, and we have this. We try to stay out of their hair when they're in the thick of it too, right? I mean, the last thing they need
Yeah.
is a dog and pony show with us coming out on a job site, but we always, hey, we want to hear your story. We want send us some pictures and images of some work that you got going on, or tell us a good
Yeah.
story about how you helped a customer, or you had some good feedback, or whatever that might be, or if we have a situation where we can get some, draw some attention to the local regulators and legislators and political officials and things in the area, and brag on what our contractors are doing. We like to do that too.
Yeah, and you sparked a thought for me. I hope not. You've been around longer than me. Just saying. I hope this isn't the case, Mike, but there's going to be some near misses from these last 2 weeks. I would find it hard to believe there wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And I pray to God that there's not as many as there could be, but I hope if there are some close calls and near misses that we have a safe enough space to talk about them and share them and learn from them, and in the right time and in the right setting, in the right environment, come together and talk about these things that may have happened on these sketchy situations and on these sketchy job sites with whatever the potential hazard could have been, so that what we can proactively put things in place maybe for the future. So
Mhm.
I hope if there's anything happening out there for our brothers, and I just again I pray not, that we'll be able to share and learn from them too. It won't be brushed under the rug.
Well, unfortunately, I think we've had more than a couple close calls out there so far.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we hate to hear it. We like to think that we have a heightened sense of awareness when we're on these storms, and we talk about that. But guys, create your zone of protection. In boxing, the ref will say, hey, gentlemen, protect yourself at all times, right? That's
Yeah.
what these
Yeah.
guys. You gotta don't take anything for granted. Take an additional
No.
step. Put some additional precautions in place. You're
Yep.
trying to survive this thing, right?
Yeah.
do everything you can to help you and your teammates and protect the public along the way, but protect your team, man. Take the
Yeah.
time. Take the time to figure out where your energy sources are, where your visible opens are. Knock the ice off and get a good test. Scrub it down good with your wire brush, get some good grounding connections. Establish a proper EPZ when you have the ability to do that,
Yeah.
and create that zone of protection. Communicate well with the system operator or the bird dog, whoever's controlling
Yeah.
your clearances, and just make sure that there's a lot of communication, there's a lot of time to talk, giving yourself a lot of elbow room and ease into it because things can go sideways quick. We already talked about all the ways that an ice storm or cold weather events cause us problems, right? It's not situation normal. So let's get out there. Let's have a heightened sense of awareness. Let's share. Let's get on. Watch some YouTubes when you have some downtime to get some tips. If your company has their own in-house
Yeah.
training or information that you can get taken care of, let's get that done. Just keep yourself in mind. This isn't a party. We love to think that these storms are a good time just to cut loose and rock and roll, and we don't have all the rigors of day-to-day blue sky work, but you have to be
Right.
careful, man, because before you know it,
Right.
something will sneak up on you and it'll get you.
And I'll soapbox real quick, real quick. Eat, good cover up, lockout, tag out, great grounds should not mean PPE's out the window.
Right.
So I just that's a narrative we got to fight against too, man. So
And all the driving.
weather
So we
permitting,
taught you started off talking about the drive and prepping, heading to the storm and all that, and that's a big piece of this.
yeah,
The thing's not done
yeah,
until you get back to the yard at the end of the storm. But
yeah,
just one more thing, you guys are operating in some of these back country areas where there's single lane road or it's hard to get through. It's not plowed well. It can get icy. Try to send a scout. You know, a guy or run around in a pickup truck and look at these. Don't take the whole convoy up the mountain road. Find a nice spot to sit. Send your bird dog, even if it's your own yourself as the bird dog. Run out there, figure out what you got going on before you get overly committed. Don't overly commit to a situation you don't know what's going on.
yeah. And this is for all the old heads out there. We still got hooks. I want to get the bucket truck to it too, man. But we still got hooks. Let's not bury the truck for no reason.
Amen to that. Well,
Well,
dude,
I,
I hope you guys make it okay with the bomb cyclone. And this is a frosty hot mics that we're having here today. So maybe
like,
maybe we'll introduce this as cold mics.
I like it, man. I appreciate you, dude, and be safe this week. And anybody and everybody out there listening, as always, thanks for anybody who checks us out. Please share it, like it, get in the comments, tell us some stuff. We've got some ideas for some interviews coming up for the next few months. So I'm excited, weather permitting. I'll be on the road doing some normal safety meetings this week. And then I'll be traveling to speak up in Pennsylvania at their statewide conference that they got coming up. How about you, man? Before we jump off, what's the next few weeks look like for you?
Well, we have an internal leadership sort of summit that we're hosting next week, so that'll be good. The team coming together, figuring out what our vision is and our mission for moving forward. And then coming up, we have our outside apprenticeship conferences where all our apprenticeships come together and talk about our training and what we're looking forward to and our standards and all that stuff. And that's going to be tough because that's going to be in Puerto Rico. Uh, so I'm sorry to say
Dang,
that while you guys are struggling with this ice, I might be on the beach with a margarita, baby.
just rub it in right here at the end, baby. Nice job. Nice job.
No, but I'll be
Well,
in the
be
thick of
safe
it.
out there, dude.
You too, my friend, man. I hope everything goes well with you and your family and your workers out there. And for everybody on the Hot Mics podcast, we'll see you next time.